My people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Batala FC. We are within, and we haven't spoken on transfers in quite some time, possibly up to a week. So, shall we break it down? We won't focus on Chelsea today because I believe truly this transfer window is already historic. It's one of those transfer windows we're going to remember for the longest time. There have been so many sagas, so many delayed deals, so many player swaps without players arriving. You know how Arsenal wanted Sesko and how Gyökeres was wanted by United, and then flip the switch. Look who's where. You get me? And then right now, the interesting one, I saw this rumor on Transfer Market. Apparently, Man City are trying to find a way to swoop in for Javi Simmons. And you can see they're busy this week, trying to get Savio out the door, possibly other players. But why should they irritate Chelsea right now? Why are you trying to be part of our business, Man City? We understand Javi Simmons is a quality player. He could fit City's system somehow, some way. Maybe they need one more central attacking midfielder, in addition to maybe Bernardo Silva, who is in the latter stages of his best. So maybe they need a Javi Simmons, but Chelsea have been there for some time. Respect us. Please, Man City. Another one, Man City actually inquired for Rodrigo, and then Rodrigo was brought on by Xabi Alonso today. I think Real Madrid are playing a friendly, or they played a friendly, and Rodrigo scored. Rodrigo has been adamant that he wants to stay at Real Madrid. Rumors have swirled. Will Liverpool try? Will Man City now try? Spurs were even mentioned. Spurs, is Rodrigo ever going to join Spurs? we never. And it's never happening. But he's been adamant. He wants to prove himself to Xabi Alonso. Overall, you could say he just wants to fight for the badge. You know, he loves the club. And, you know, Real Madrid and Barcelona, they have that thing where players are just in love with fighting for the badge. And it's a blessing, really. So, Rodrigo, I think he'll stay. I think we all feel he will stay at Real Madrid, even if Man City are going to try their luck there. Interesting saga I'd like to touch on is Donnarumma, though. Donnarumma's come out and he said, somebody didn't want me at PSG. Who's this somebody? Who could it be? Could it be the directors? I'm going with the assumption that the man himself, Luis Enrique, was not a big fan of Donnarumma. And it's interesting, right, to make that assumption of a goalkeeper that has won a quadruple. You can count that Tropez des Champions. I think it's like their community shield of sorts. They won that. They won the French Cup. They won League One. They won the Champions League with Donnarumma as the mainstay. They've already replaced Donnarumma with Lille's former goalkeeper. Is it Chevalier? Something like that. Donnarumma is out the door. I think that's a deal Man City can actually get done. I think Donnarumma will join one of the Manchester clubs. Definitely so. Man United somehow just have money to splash, so maybe he'll end up at United, but I see Man City as better suitors, especially if Edison is adamant to leave the club, because Edison has been fluctuating in terms of, should I stay, should I leave? Hey, Edison, and make your decision, bruv. Man City fans, how y'all feeling about that, though? That's a painful one. Spursy boys.
Please, I want to reach 1 million likes.
Eze, as well as Savio. Are those good additions for Thomas Frank is my question. I'm looking at Eze as a less injury-prone player to play in James Maddison's role. They need a player in that position because Maddison got injured in preseason. So the interlink between the defense and the attack, they don't have someone at that level. So Eze could be a mainstay starter. Now, Arsenal have been linked with Eze throughout the window. But what I've heard from Arsenal fans and what I've seen online is that Eze would be played on the left in Martinelli's position, but that's not Eze's preferred role. If he goes to Spurs, he'll play where he desires to play, where he prefers to play his football. So you could see Spurs actually get that over the line. Now, Savinho from Man City. City want 80 million, and Spurs have inquired. Spurs look very keen on the player. So you'd assume with Son gone, they still have Brendan Johnson. They still have Kulusevski. You'd assume Dominic Solanke is still the striker for Spurs. So are they getting an additional option on the wings? an additional option should not be worth 80 million. Because I'm seeing Kudus and Kulusevski. Kudus mainstay or Brennan Johnson. What's the point of Savinho? I don't know. Thomas Frank might need him for some other things. We'll see about that deal. That's expensive, though. Man City better calm down. 80 million is a madness, bruv. What? That's crazy. Shall we jump to Liverpool? Like, I've spoken on all these clubs today without speaking Chelsea. If you're proud of me, drop a like, because I'm proud of how we've just approached this. I love it. I love it. Free roaming. You get me? Liverpool might still want Isak. That's the crazy one. And Isak still wants Liverpool, but it looks like Newcastle are going to block the move. Let's not forget, Isak still has 3 years on his contract at Newcastle. And even if he's phased out, let's say Newcastle are willing to keep paying his wages even if he's not playing, right? Let's just say that. Isak will be phased out. He'll lose form. So the player will eventually have to apologize. We've seen these scenarios in football before. I can't remember top of the dome, but a player being phased out and not playing over 9 months, it's not practical for the player's career. Let's be honest. Your market value is lowering. Your ability as a footballer is not being tested. You're a footballer. You got to play. You love to play football. So Isak seems to be staying at Newcastle, I would say, unless Liverpool really come in. Because now Liverpool are focused on defense. And Mark Guehi, what staggered me about this Mark Guehi rumor? Fabrizio reported 35 million. 35 million, guys. How is Guehi 35 million? If he's 35 million, why didn't we get him? Why didn't Chelsea bring him back? Cobham boy, why didn't he come back home? I was assuming Guehi was closer to 70, possibly 80 million. You know how this market can be. I mean, Harry Maguire, even back then, went from Leicester to Man United for around that figure. He was the most expensive defender. Is he still? He might still be. Who knows? Isn't it crazy? How can Guehi be 35 million? Did Fabrizio have a typo or something there? Hey, that's madness. If Liverpool get Guehi for less than 50, that's a bargain, I would say. That's a brilliant defender. And they do need to reinforce in the backline. They let go of Quanta, but from what I saw from Quanta with Leverkusen, Quanta was never good enough. And then alongside Guehi, there's an 18-year-old defender from Parma in Italy named Giovanni Leone. Did you guys know this player before today? Because I did not know him. Apparently he's got a bright future, bright spark, one of those players, one for the future. And we'll see. I think Liverpool will get that deal easily done. And then Guehi, we'll see if Palace can budge. Because Palace done won 2 trophies in a couple of months. Glasner's cooking, and Guehi is a key factor in that cooking. So can Palace keep both? Can they keep Eze as well as Guehi? Or will they lose both? And honestly, they would suffer should they lose both players. It would be a lot more difficult for Glasner going into next season, especially because he still has them. The window closes on the 1st of September, 18 days or so until the window officially closes. So, hey, you don't want to lose players now. They've even played Community Shield and won it with the club. It'll be painful for Palace. Last point, guys. Shall we break it down? I had to speak on the boys. I have to speak on the boys, but just one player. One singular form. Alejandro Ganacho said either he goes to Chelsea or he just doesn't play football for 9 months. Imagine a player saying that. Now, as a United fan, you probably feel like, wow, what a stubborn player. Oh, yeah? He wants Chelsea? Let him go. As a Chelsea fan, how do I feel? How do we feel? He better show up is how I feel. You don't say it's there or nothing, only to arrive there and not be good enough. That would be quite embarrassing for Ganacho. Honestly, let's hope that this desire to play for Chelsea will make him lethal on the pitch. He is a direct forward. You know, Maresca will love him for certain elements of his game. Will he be the best decision maker for Chelsea in the system? You know, Jamie Gittins versus Ganacho. Anything can happen if Ganacho arrives, I believe. So, but Ganacho being so bold to say, I won't even play for 9 months if I don't get this move. Hey, I've never heard a player say that. Historic from Alejandro Ganacho. You get me? But shout out for tuning in, guys. These are my thoughts on English football news, transfer news. I've been keeping tabs across Europe as much as I can. I haven't been as aggressive. I know AC Milan have done some good business. I know Napoli have done great business. I know Atletico have been heavily busy. And you have to consider these factors because we're going into the Champions League. I don't think AC Milan in the Champions League though. So Napoli's, the Atletico Madrid's, Real Madrid of course, and Barcelona. You will always be in the loop in terms of their business because they're the biggest in Spain of sorts. And yeah, this has been me sharing my perspective on the English clubs, guys. Shout out again for tuning in. That's it. Shout out again for tuning in, guys. Blessings, yo.